Welcome everybody to the first episode of the Mike Lopez interview series, or MLIS for short. Thanks for tuning in. Today, my guest will be the owner of the Wrestling Guy store in Huntington Park, David Gomez. You know, as a longtime wrestling fan, I've been to his store multiple times, and I even was able to get Kurt Angle to sign my Funko Pop. So, it was pretty cool stuff there. I will admit, however, that my microphone died right before this interview. So the audio you hear is from the camera itself. But you'll still be able to hear it and enjoy it. So that's all good. So without further ado, enjoy the interview and thanks for tuning in. What's up, everybody? This is Mike. I'm here at the Wrestling Guy store in Huntington Park, California. And I'm here with David, the founder, the owner of the Wrestling Guy store. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm sweating a little bit because it's like the hottest day of the year, but I'm good.
Yeah, it's really hot out there, man. And I can see that you have an event going on today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so today we're hosting Heather Monroe. She's a pretty big name out here in SoCal. Unfortunately, due to COVID, a lot of our local wrestlers aren't working, so we decided, why don't we open our doors and let them do a little meet and greet, make some money to help them out during this whole pandemic.
That's good. That's awesome. And I'm pretty sure the wrestlers are looking forward to seeing their fans,
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they've been waiting to work for a while. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So you started this store, and I've been here a few times now. What can you tell us about the history of the idea? How did this come about?
So we started back in about 2005. We started at the Santa Fe Springs swap meet. I always call that the home turf. And we started there just because we had a few WWE shirts that I had ordered a while back when we had like a cell phone store. And I remember a friend of mine had a place in the swap meet and was trying to sell some of the shirts over there. She told me they sold really well, so I said, oh, why not sell the last dozen I have? So we started off there in about February of 2005, and then we just kept growing from there and growing, and then everybody kept asking me what our end goal was, and I said, well, I would like to have a little storefront and show WWE that their merchandise can sell. And so in about 2013, a friend of mine actually messaged me and said, hey, there's this great place for rent. It's on State Street, it's near the high school. And so I came to check it out. Everything I wanted in my head, the landlord was giving me. So I said, all right, let's do it. We signed the papers, and yeah, here we are now in 2020. So we've been, it's been about, what I want to say, since 2005 till now, so 15 years, I think, total, but here at the store, 7 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask, how did you decide to come to Huntington Park?
I was coaching baseball at HP High School, Huntington Park High School. Mm-hmm. And when my friend told me that the store was near the school, I said, well, let me check it out. Let me see. My goal was to open inside like Stonewood Mall in Downey or Montebello Mall. But the offer was just too good to be true. So I said, I have to take it here in Huntington Park. And, honestly, the city's been very supportive. The city council's been very supportive, and we've actually done really well here. So we said, you know what, HP's it.
HP's glad to have you.
Thank you.
And you've met a lot of wrestlers along the way, and I see a lot of wrestlers signed pictures up there. Who's the one that does the art?
So a couple of years before we even opened at the swap meet, Rob Van Dam had a store in Lakewood, and it was called 5-Star Wrestling and Comics, I believe. And what he would do is when he'd have wrestlers come in and sign, he would put their memorabilia up. So Booker T came in and signed. They had his gloves up on the ceiling. I think Bret Hart had like his sling up on the ceiling. And so we liked that idea, but we just couldn't really copy it because RVD is a wrestler, so he's friends with these guys. They're going to trust him with it. So I have a friend, his name is, we call him the Butcher, and his son, Anthony Parian, actually is an artist. And he actually said, well, why don't I draw some of them on the board? So I was like, I didn't understand what he meant by that, but he brought in the first board I think he did was Tito Santana, and it looked freaking incredible. So he started doing for every wrestler that would come in. So originally it was just gonna be the Hall of Famers,
Yeah.
and or former champions. And then he said, he started with all the wrestlers that would come in. So that's how the artwork started, and that's been part of our, like our little Hollywood Walk of Fame. So this is our little wrestling guy ceiling of fame.
Yeah, there's a lot of great and notable names up here.
Yeah.
Definitely. As you've gotten to meet some wrestlers, what are some highlights of meeting some of these people and working with them?
You know what? The highlight is always getting to hear a lot of the stories that they have that you don't get to hear often. We got to hear some stories from like Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is actually one of my favorites because he has stories and he's just funny. And so when you get to hear some of that, that's really awesome. You get to and then when my favorite part of the whole meet and greet is when they get to see their board. Just the reaction they have to it is incredible. So I would say that's probably the most fun, and just hearing the stories that you don't really get to hear too often from them. So sometimes you get to hear some of them on like their shoot interviews or something, but when they're here, it's not a shoot. It's just actual history that you don't know. How a match came, to be, or how something happened, or why so-and-so replaced so-and-so. So it's pretty interesting.
That's cool. I was here for the Kurt Angle signing not that long ago, and I remember asking him about the 3 eyes.
Yeah.
And he let me know something I didn't know, that Shane McMahon was the one who originally came up with that idea.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. During the signing, he mentioned that, and so it's very true that sometimes they tell you something that you might not have learned otherwise.
Yeah.
Who do you have in mind, or who's your dream signing? Who would you like at the Wrestling Guy store?
If I didn't have this mask on, you guys would see my face. But there's 2. It would be Stone Cold Steve Austin, and my second one would be Daniel Bryan. I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan, and I would love to have Daniel Bryan here. I think it'll happen someday. I don't know when. But I would say those 2 are probably the goals.
Yeah, those are some top-notch talents right there. What is the future? What does the future hold for the Wrestling Guy store?
We would like to grow. Maybe, grow meaning get a little more room in here. Maybe get bigger. We were also looking at maybe expanding into different states. So maybe in a couple years, maybe open in like Arizona or Texas or San Diego. That's not a state, but a different city.
Right.
So we're looking at it. We don't want to be like GameStop where we're like or Toys R Us where we're like in every city. We want to make it special. So we want to look at different options and see where we feel it would be the best place to go. But sooner or later we would like to expand into different states and stuff. Maybe not the East Coast, but at least the West Coast.
Yeah, that sounds good. Good. And one more question. I know that right now we're wearing the masks, and all that. How has the recent events with the pandemic, how has that affected the Wrestling Guy store?
At first we thought it was going to be pretty bad just because we know a lot of people are furloughed or unemployed, and so we thought, wow, it's going to be tough. We didn't think we'd recover. Fortunately, we have very good customers that come into the store. They're like one of the probably the best customers, and I think a lot of them have been buying toys for the kids and to keep them entertained. So luckily we pulled through. We've done pretty well. We're not where we used to be, but we'll take what we're getting right now just because, like I said, I know a lot of people, just the fact that some people that are furloughed right now, and we've heard stories of some parents that are furloughed or unemployed at the moment, the fact that they're coming in to spend $15, $20, $25 is just speaks volumes of how they see the store and how they value what we do, and we love what we do. So I'm happy that they're very supportive.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, and I wish you nothing but the best with the store. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. See you.